Get started. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to All In on Real Estate. I'm your host, Aaron Goins. I started this meetup because when I was in the military, no one in my circles talked about real estate. A lot of times we talk about debt. They talked about finances and other things like that, but no one talked about real estate. And I want to have a meetup so people can learn about different niches in real estate and build generational wealth for them and them families. So I'm very, very excited for our guest speaker. She's coming live from Kuwait. Miss Keisha Kennedy, how you doing, Keisha?
I'm doing well, and yourself? Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yeah, thank you. And this talking to you prior, man, I'm loaded up on questions now. I'm really excited for this, especially for you being an overseas investor. And I definitely want to talk about that and really get into that. So let's get started because I really want to blow your time, especially doing this at 3 o'clock in the morning in Kuwait. So let's get started. So I'm gonna ask you this: why get into real estate, and let's start with your journey. Why did you get into real estate?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Keisha Kennedy. I am from Richmond, Virginia. My father was in the military. He retired after 23 years, and I've lived all over the world. So in 2001, when I graduated high school in Germany, and I was born in Germany as well. And I went to school at VCU in Richmond, Virginia, and joined the Army National Guard. And so during that time, when I was in the Guard, I deployed to Kuwait for 1 year, and then I returned back to Richmond, Virginia, and finished out my degree. So once I graduated, I was offered, low paying jobs. And at that time, I felt like, man, I should be offered more with a college degree. So I ended up coming back to Kuwait as a contractor from 2009 and 2013. And so that's when my investment journey started in 2011, when the market first crashed. So I bought my first home for $29,500. I still remember the price because it was so cheap. It was a bank foreclosure and I paid cash for it. It was built in 2010. And I had my parents go out and view the home when I was living in Kuwait. And they said, yeah, it's a good deal. And I purchased the home. And all I had to do was just take up the flooring at that time. And I had my first tenant. I rented it out for $823. So at that time, I had no education when it came to financial literacy. I was self-taught. I had to figure it out on my own. However, I will say that my great-grandfather had property, my grandmother had property, and then my father inherited property, and he also purchased homes that he was renting out. However, no one sat me down and taught me financial literacy. So I am so happy that I did start investing back in 2011, because fast forward to today, I am still investing. So it's been 10 years. So going back to that first property that I purchased, like I mentioned earlier, $29,500, it came with the lot next door. So I rented it out. And then the following year, I bought another house that was a bank foreclosure. And then I just continued the cycle until this year I was ready to scale. I wanted more for myself. I wanted to, think big, grow big. So I said earlier this year, I said, I want to buy an apartment complex. And so I started reading about apartments and, listening to podcasts and just joining Facebook groups and being around like-minded people. And that's when I came across the word apartment syndication. Again, my mind was blown. I had no idea that this is how a lot of people were buying apartments. I thought it was just the rich buying apartments, but that wasn't the case. And so that's basically how my journey started.
That's awesome right there. That's awesome. It's awesome. So what to you was the biggest influence, like as far as with real estate in your journey so far?
Yeah, just being around like-minded people. So again, I was self-taught when I bought my first home. I had to figure it out on my own. But when I decided to scale up into a commercial, I hired a coach, hired a mentor, and they showed me the way. So back in April, as I mentioned, that's when I started. I started investing in property. So my first asset, commercial asset, was in Richmond, Virginia. As I mentioned, I'm from that area. So I had to understand the acronyms when it came to investing as a limited partner in the commercial space. It's just like learning a second language. You know, we have different acronyms, IRR, COC, and the list goes on. So it's like a foreign language. So I had to learn those terms. And once I learned those terms, I was comfortable with investing as a limited partner. So what is a limited partner? A limited partner is someone that invests their capital in the deal, but they don't have an active role. They are investing passively. So that's what I did in Richmond, 27 units, invested passively while receiving the benefits of being an investor. So the tax benefits and the cash flow and the net proceeds. So that was my first deal. The second deal I invested in was in 81 units in Florence, Kentucky. And then the third deal I invested in as a limited partner was 2 student housing. So 19 units in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and 24 units in Columbia, South Carolina. And all these deals took place between May and July as a limited partner. Again, I was only investing passively. So the reason why I wanted to get into forced syndications was because I wanted to understand the perspective of being a limited partner, because eventually I wanted to become a general partner. So a general partner is someone that is actively in the deal. So a general partner will find the deal, underwrite the deal, due diligence, boots on the ground, asset management, help raise capital. And so that there are more than one general partner on the deal. So it's probably, it can range between 4, 5, and 6, or sometimes less, depending on how big the deal is. So about 6 weeks ago, I became a general partner on my first deal, very exciting, in Waco, Texas. We just closed last Monday, 56 units. I'm very proud of this. It's been a great year so far. And so, yeah, that was my first general partner role in that deal. And now I'm also in another deal as a general partner. And this is all from Kuwait, you guys, all from Kuwait. 120 units in Des Moines, Iowa. 120 units in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm so excited, as a general partner and a limited partner. So each deal that I plan on being a part of, I will also invest my capital, because how can I come to a limited partner and take their capital, and I'm saying it's such a good deal, but I'm not investing my own capital in that deal? So I say all of that to say this: think about how bad do you want it? I'm all the way in Kuwait. I am 8 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. Currently, it is 3 a.m., as he had mentioned earlier in the morning, but it's about the sacrifices that you make. And I'm making it happen from being overseas. So if everybody that's on this call, I'm assuming that you're from the States, do not allow adversity to just stop you from reaching your goals. Just go out there. If I can do it all the way from Kuwait, which is an hour flight from Dubai, for those that do not know where Kuwait is at, then you can do it too. But that's basically how I started my journey. I started it in 2011, and I'm still reaping the benefits of it in 2021 in the residential. So imagine my life now as I'm scaling into commercial.
And great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be bad if you want it that bad enough. You're going to go after it. You're going to get it.
Exactly.
And that's a great story. So I got 2 questions from what you told me. Number one was, you talking about residential. You was in residential. What was your why you get out of residential, and why you're now in multifamily?
Yeah, because I can scale, I can build that generational wealth and that financial freedom. If you are a landlord and you own, let's just say 5 rental properties, you have 5 roofs, right? You have 5 roofs, 5 HVAC, versus if you have one building that's 20 units, and you have 2 vacancies, you only losing out 2 units at that time, versus if you have 2 houses and you have 2 out of the 5 vacancies, you still have no cash flow from those 2 homes. So that's one reason why I did it. I wanted to scale into commercial because it's easier to manage. It is more cash flow. I can leverage other general partners' experience and we can grow together.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Absolutely agree everything you say. Okay, so what is your biggest challenges with you being overseas and being a general partner?
The only challenge that I have is just the time difference. I don't, I don't allow anything to stop me from reaching my goals. I'm a big person on words of affirmation. So I'm always saying I can, I am, I will invest in 120 units this year. I am an investor. I am an educator. I am a lifelong learner. So I would say the only challenge that I'm facing is that I can't physically be in the United States right now because I am deployed as a military contractor. And so that would be the only challenge that I have faced, is just not being physically there to help my general partners with boots on the ground and doing due diligence and being able to attend conferences. But other than that, everything can take place virtually. And I'm a testament to that because I started in 2011 from Kuwait in residential space, and it is successful. I have a good team in place. My parents are there that are supporting me with helping me managing my properties on the residential. And I also have a good handyman in place that also manages my rentals. So there's a lot that can be done from overseas or in another state.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I definitely get that. So let's talk about something that we talked about. With you being overseas, and we talk about this hard on this what time it is in the morning for you. You got to have good time management to do the things you have to do because you have responsibilities. So talk to us about your time management and how do you manage?
Yes. So I failed to mention that I am a bodybuilder. I've been
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as my time management, I was gonna add that with the bodybuilding. But as far as my time management, I use time blocking. So my phone is always on do not disturb. I turn off my notifications because you can't get sidetracked, right? And so I account for every minute, every second of the day, because after work, I am speaking to investors on the phone in the evening from probably like 5 p.m. all the way up to 10, or sometimes starting at 4, it depends. So I have to manage my time wisely, and time blocking allows me to do that. So, and also before I started time blocking, I did a time audit, and that will tell you the truth about how you are spending your time. You're writing down everything that you do throughout 24 hours and from sun up to sundown. And it makes you realize, man, I am wasting a lot of time. And because I did a time audit, that's when the time blocking helped as well. So sitting down and doing just like a timesheet at work. From 8 to 9, I'm going to focus on analyzing the deal. From 9 to 10, I'm going to speak to a broker. From 10 to 11, I'm going to speak to investors. So time blocking is something that I highly recommend. And also doing a time audit if you are having challenges saying, man, I don't have time. Reality, you have time. Just put that phone down, get off social media, stay focused on your goals, and use time blocking, and also do that time audit check.
Boy, you on fire, boy. You dropping a lot of gems. And let everybody know that I'm gonna open up some time for everybody to ask her questions at the end of this interview. I really resonate with you about that. I'm reading a book today, and at times I look at my phone and something, somebody will text me and that's taking me off course. I'll get back on course, but then I'll get off course, and yes. So I definitely understand that time blocking is so important, especially if you want to be focused on your goals. And what I get from this interview and just talking to you beforehand is that you're a very focused person on the task at hand.
Absolutely.
All right. A couple more questions, then we start talking about bodybuilding, because I definitely, you already know I want to ask you a couple questions about that one. So with multifamily, and I went on your website, and I love your website, really clean, really clear and concise with everything you have. How did you find your team and your advisor?
Yes. So my team actually is from the mastermind that I'm in and the coach that I am with as well. Basically, for the team, I wanted someone that I can trust because this is a relationship. It's just like being in a marriage and you're investing in a home together. So if I can't trust that individual or that general partner, then I do not want to do business with them, right? Because this is a long-term hold. In commercial, you can hold a property between 5, 6, 7 years, sometimes 3 years. It just depends on the deal. So I wanted to be comfortable with the people that I'm working with, just like you want to be comfortable with the people that you work with, right? And so that's how we decided to become a team. We resonated with each other. Their strengths are my weaknesses and vice versa. So that's how we started the team.
So basically, you had people who, like you said, the strengths part. So you didn't want to find somebody who's doing the same thing you are. You want to have your own category in that team.
Exactly. Absolutely.
I think that's so important. I think that's so important because people, a lot of times, you might find somebody who, are like-minded, but then doing the same thing. And that can cause trouble and take a lot of time away from the necessary things you need to do. So I think that's very, very important to have your own niche in your team.
Absolutely.
That's great. Okay, so I think we covered a lot in a short amount of time. So where do you want to go? And I know you're focused. You already knock out another deal and things like that. But where you want to go? Where you want to see yourself in the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years?
Yes. So my why when it comes to commercial is education and just educating as many people as possible. So I use my social media platform to do so. So I am posting daily to just provide financial literacy to family, friends, people that I've never met. So that's my first reason why I'm investing in commercial versus residential. And the second reason is partnership, because a lot of people can't afford to buy an apartment building by themselves, so allowing other partners to come in, limited partners, general partners, I really, truly enjoy that. And the last reason is impacting our community, because a lot of people can't afford to buy a home, right? So their apartments is their home. And because of that, we use a buying strategy called value add, where we're going in and we are adding value. We are upgrading their bathroom, upgrading their kitchen or other amenities. And this brings me so much joy because we are impacting the community. So those are my 3 reasons why. My goal is to generate generational wealth. I am 38 years old, never married, no children. So I know that I will leave a legacy and an impact for my family. I'm already doing that with my immediate family. And I plan on doing that, with generations that follow me. So I want to get in on as many deals as a general partner as possible. And also I want to I want to continue to invest passively because I see the benefits from it. I truly enjoy investing passively. The deal that I invested in May, I got my first distribution in November. So I'm in 6 different syndications right now, and there are going to be so many more to come in the future. So to answer your question, my short-term goal, I would say for 2022, I don't want to put a cap on a number, but I want to get in on as many deals as possible as a general partner from Kuwait.
Awesome. That's wonderful. And as you're doing this, like you say, you're on social media, you're really impacting the community around you, people around you. So I think that's awesome, Keisha. And we definitely will keep in contact because, hey, I got deals. So we definitely talk about you being a limited partner and things like that in the future. All right, one more question before we get into the other thing that we talked about. What with somebody who's new, what is something you would tell somebody who's new into real estate? Right? We have a lot of people in here who are experienced a little bit, and then we have people who are new. So what would you tell a new investor who want to get into multifamily real estate? Because I tell people all the time, like, look, you can go into multifamily. You won't have to do the ladder where you had to go to wholesaling and then you got to do fix and flipping, and then maybe small and go big. You can get into multi-family, large real estate right away. You just got to have a niche. You got to have something that, like you said, be part of a team that you can stand out in, maybe underwriting or raise capital or something like that. But what would you tell a new person who wants to get into multi-family real estate?
Yes, it's all about mindset. Having that growth mindset and believing that you can do, because mindset can impact your beliefs and attitude, right? So 90% of millionaires have invested in real estate. So what does that tell you? That you need to make your money work for you, right? You rather be tired and rich than rested and poor. Warren Buffett is, I love his quotes. And one of them is, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So just find a mentor, find a coach, believe that you can do it, because you have to always believe in yourself, because no one else will. And just go out there, network. Network is your net worth. And that is a true statement. I didn't realize that until this year, that man, power is proximity, right? Surrounding yourself by like-minded people, because you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. So if you're around 5 people that are overweight, you'll be the 6th person. If you are around someone that is poor, 5 people that are poor, you will eventually become the 6th poor person. So again, it all starts with mindset, having that growth mindset. I had a fixed mindset when I first was in the residential space. And this year I finally had the growth mindset. I wanted to diversify in different asset classes. So start now rather than later. The time is right now, not later.
My man Desmond Lawrence says his net worth is net worth. So yeah, definitely. Right there, right, Desmond? Oh man, great stuff. Great stuff, Keisha. Great stuff. All right, so let's get into this and get into bodybuilding. Why did you get into bodybuilding, and what appeals to you about bodybuilding? Let's start right there.
Yes. So when I was a contractor the first time from 2019, 2013, I returned back to the States. It was the end of my contract, and I started a bail bondsman business, breaking the chains bail bonds. And I was a bail bondsman. And at that time, I was constantly on call 24/7. I started eating out at fast food restaurants and gained some weight. So, man, I was like 30 some pounds overweight at that time. And so I came back to Kuwait as a contractor 2017. And I promised myself, I said, man, I have to do better. I have high blood pressure, diabetes runs in my family. I knew that I had to do better. So I ended up hiring a trainer in 2017, lost the weight within 6 to 7 months, worked really hard. And at the following year in 2018, my trainer said, hey, you should compete in this recreation show on the military installation. And I said, okay, yeah, why not? And so I did. And that's when my bodybuilding journey started. From 2018. And so I enjoy the discipline behind being a bodybuilder. I enjoy the regimen behind it. It's more of mental health for me than it is physical health. And so I just became addicted, but now it's a lifestyle. So fast forward to today, I am competing internationally abroad. I love to travel. I live in Kuwait, and I'm also, competing now abroad in other countries. So I love bodybuilding. It's who I am now. It's a lifestyle. And once I stop competing, I'm going to continue to go to the gym. I am a fully sponsored bodybuilder here in Kuwait at a local gym and a meal prep company. So I absolutely love how you can transform your body, your temple, from having no muscles to having muscles. And again, it's all about that mental health for me more than it is physical, because in this line of business, especially in the commercial space, it is stressful, right? So I look forward to going to the gym on a daily basis. I look forward to seeing that change in my body.
Hey, you took my question. I was going to ask the next question about that. I was going to ask you.
Okay.
I was going to ask you, how did that help you out with how bodybuilding help you out with real estate? But I mean, I'm gonna continue with bodybuilding, but discipline. I know you talked about it earlier, but to do everything we talked about, your time management skills, things like that. I did see a question about mental health, and we can ask a question about that, but your discipline, how important is that in your life?
Yes, you have to be, as a bodybuilder, you have to be disciplined. Once I became a bodybuilder, I actually went back to school. I have several degrees, right? I have a Bachelor of Exercise Science. I have an Associate's of Exercise Science. I have a Master's in Homeland Security, and I have a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. So I wanted to go back to school once I fell in love with fitness, and that's when I studied exercise science. On top of that, I started a business. My business now is Kennedy Remedy Investments, but I did have a business, Kennedy Remedy Fitness. And I actually closed that business in July because it was a lot going on. I had clients in the States, I had clients in Kuwait, but it was all through an app and it was all online. However, I wanted to put 100% focus on the real estate business because I already see where it was going 10 years from 10 years ago, right? So just, man, you have to be disciplined as a bodybuilder. You have to focus on your sleep for recovery. I have to get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Am I getting that now? No, I'm not, because of the type of business I'm in. So I really have to focus on that in 2022 because my recovery, I'm just hindering my progress, right? And I also have to focus on keeping my stress down low. So I eat 5 times a day, every 3 to 4 hours. My meals are prepped daily, and you have to keep the stress down. You have to go to the gym when you don't want to. You have to think about everybody that you're competing against, and it's all about who wants it bad enough. And that goes back to real estate, the same thing. How bad do you want it? And so because of bodybuilding, I can put those two together with real estate, use the same analogy, mindset goes back to mindset.
That's awesome. That is awesome, Keisha. And I like how you just tie them together. And that's so true. That's so true. I was telling you off camera that I watched was it Madakai Motivation. It's like a Facebook group, and these bodybuilders talk about their lives and talk about how that they got to eat so much time during the day, because if not, they're going to lose weight. They're not going to build a muscle that they want to. So, I mean, it's a regimen they have to do, and they have to do it over and over again. And I remember just seeing some of the biggest bodybuilders talking about just the regimen they had to do every single day to get to the goals they want to get to. And you just can't compete and miss the Olympia, and that's it. It's a total body thing, and you're not going to just get big and strong in 1 year. It takes time to do this kind of thing. So, I'm just really blown away by your regimen, by your discipline. What do you do for downtime? Do you have any downtime that you do?
Yes. So I have hobbies. For those that are on the call, I am very adventurous. I'm a very adventurous person. Today I went horseback ride. Well, yesterday I went horseback riding. I ride horses once a week at the stable. It's relaxing. It's needed. Like I said, mindset. I'm all about mindset. So I ride horses. I'm a certified scuba diver, and I love scuba diving. I've traveled and scuba dived all around the world. So I've dived in West Sri Lanka, Fifi Island, Puerto Rico. I can't even keep up right now. There's so many countries that I've dived in, and I'm also a skydiver. I enjoy skydiving. So I skydived in Dubai, Israel, Kenya on the beach. What else? I enjoy parasailing. I enjoy zip lining. I enjoy spending time with my family, which that's part of my why, being able to travel with my family and showing them, the world. I've had my parents come over here to visit me. I had my sisters come over here to visit me, and just being able to travel off that passive income. The investments that I made 10 years ago is still paying off today. And again, that's just at a residential level. So imagine the payoff at commercial. So the reason why I share my story is just to inspire everyone that's on this call. Just start. If you want to start in residential, you can always start off in a single family home, because that's how I start off. You can always start off house hacking, buy a quad or a duplex, live on one side, and then rent out the other and allow tenants to pay for your rent, or pay for your mortgage. There are many ways to get started other than just going straight to commercial. However, I highly recommend going to the commercial space, because if I knew what I knew now, back then, I would go straight to multifamily commercial. Build your team, network, reach out to me. I can give you more advice. So yeah.
All right, one final question before I open up to the attendees. This has been power packed. You're gonna give me a hard time trying to find out just a couple of gems that you said, because you said a lot, and it's great. Thank you so much. So you said that you're on a hiatus right now for competing for bodybuilding and things like that. But how long do you plan on competing, and what's the ultimate goal for you for that?
Yeah, so next year is 2022. We're almost in 2022, right? And so I haven't stepped on stage in 2 years. I was supposed to compete last year in Dubai and in Germany, but COVID stopped that. So now I'm in an off season and I'm training as if I'm still in prep mode, because again, it's a lifestyle. So I plan on taking the stage next year. I was actually looking at the calendar with my sister this past week, because she likes to travel with me. She's my number one supporter. We travel together to these competitions. She's actually here in Kuwait as well. She's 25 years old. And she's actually investing in her first deal with me as a limited partner. So proud of her on the Des Moines, Iowa deal that I'm on now. But I plan on competing, like I said, next year in 2022. I don't know how much longer I will compete. It might be another year or two, but bodybuilding will always have a special place in my heart. And once I'm done competing, I'm going to continue to live a healthy lifestyle, right? Because as I mentioned, diabetes and high blood pressure runs in my family. And I truly enjoy the discipline, the consistency. You know, I see that transformation in my body. I'm going to continue to live a healthy lifestyle until I pass. So that is my goal.
All right, so you open up two questions. I'm gonna ask you a light question. I'm gonna ask you a more serious question. All right, so you talk about your sister. How was it hard to get her into real estate? Because some people in our families kind of give us a stiff arm, like, hey, you're doing good, you know, and some people are appreciative and want to learn more. So how hard was it to get your sister into real estate?
Yeah, so she has seen, you know, me going from having nothing to owning properties. And she's just sitting back and watching. And she always says, Keisha, I look up to you. Thank you for being a great sister. And so I just slowly started educating her. And I told her, hey, you're living in Kuwait at your age, because she came over here at the age of 21. At her age, that's a very young age, right? To make tax-free money, a lot of money at her age. And so I told her, you have to make your money work for you. You know, you want to leave a legacy, you want to continue to grow your money. And she sees that from me investing in 2011. And so I slowly educated her on what a limited partner is, the benefits, the risk, and things like that. And so I told her, when I find my first deal, would you like to invest? And she didn't hesitate. She said yes. And I said, it's not to support me, because we will get investors, right? It's to support you. So I don't want you to look at it as though, hey, I'm helping my big sister. No, you're helping yourself. So she plans on investing in this deal. And she's like, hey, I'll have, more capital in the next 3 months. So she'll probably get in on as many deals as possible. And I just wish that I started out at that age, at 25 years old, investing in multifamily commercial. But that's why I am educating her. I'm educating my other sister, and I'm educating my brother. So one of our goals is to purchase our first Airbnb next year. And I'm going to ensure that my sisters and my brother have an active role in this, because I want them to leave a legacy for their family. And I've already left a legacy for mine with the rental properties. Everyone has, a piece of property. However, again, my sister, I really want to impact her, because I'm here in Kuwait with her. She's 25 years old, and I do not want her to just blow her money. I want her to be educated with financial literacy, and I want her to educate as many people as possible, which she's already doing that by telling people at her job about Kennedy Remedy Investments. So I get a lot of inquiries from people in Kuwait that are contractors, DoD civilians, military. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
You did. Have you opened up a trust as well? Because you talk about do you have a trust as well?
I am working on that. I do have a will, but I'm working on the trust.
Cool. I think that's a great way to pass on wealth to generations behind you. Okay, last question, and I'll open up for the attendees. We talked about your different activities you like to get into. What was the best skydiving you have done?
I would say the best skydiving will always be my first skydive because I have a fear of heights, and it was in Dubai. That would be the most memorable. The view is amazing. So yeah, Dubai would be number one. The second one would be Kenya because I landed on the beach barefoot. Wow. But my first skydive is definitely Dubai.
Okay. All right. Well, man, Keisha, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You really give a lot of great nuggets. It's power pack. Thank you so much. This thank you. And I'm open up to attendees. So since I changed her name and I see her reaction, I'm going to open up and allow the Queen, Miss Janelle York, Queen of York, to ask the first question.
I think you asked one I was going to ask, was how you got to be a GP in your first deal. I have had conversation with one of your partners, so I've kind of heard a little bit about the story, and I think it's really, really inspiring how you did that. So I'm trying to think of another good question to ask. Gosh, put me on the spot, Aaron. What can I ask? Oh, I know. Keisha, you really piqued my interest when you were talking about your interest, and I'm taking this totally off real estate now, your interest in healthy eating. Because when you talked about you love the consistency of it and taking care of yourself, and that piques my interest because one of my goals I'm learning as I sit and think what I want to do with what I accomplished in my investing is I am very cognizant of the health issues that you're talking about that run in your family, run in many people's families, particularly people of color. And food deserts are something that I'm very passionate about, and the health and wellness of people in communities that don't have access to healthy food. So that's one thing that I want to do with what I work on throughout my investing is I want to help alleviate the food desert issue that we have in certain parts of the country. So
absolutely.
You've talked about your bodybuilding and how you'll continue your healthy lifestyle after you're done bodybuilding. Do you have any plans or any goals to meld your investing with helping people see the benefit of both investing and healthy eating, since you obviously are doing both?
Well, I see more generational wealth with investing in commercial real estate. So that's why I closed Kennedy Remedy Fitness in July. I truly enjoyed training my clients. I did have a lot of clients in the States and here. However, I enjoy training myself as a bodybuilder. I do have a coach. I will say that I do have a coach. I check in with my coach every week, even though I'm in an off season, and I send pictures. I answer those questions, those weekly questions that I have to ask. It's a regimen for me. And so I do not see myself, mingling those two businesses together again. That's why I stepped back from it. So my focus is just Kennedy Remedy Investments, because again, 90% of millionaires, they invested in what? Real estate, real asset, something that's tangible. They didn't invest in a fitness business. So guess what? I'm going to continue to invest in assets.
Very powerful. Love it.
Yeah. Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
thank you for your Presentation, very well. Could you see yourself putting a fitness center in one of your buildings?
That is a possibility. That is a
And
possibility.
automating your, I guess, if you have a program and you teach it to others and your fitness center will keep going, that you don't have to be there every day?
Yeah, so earlier I had mentioned everything was ran online and there was an app. So I had automated it. So I uploaded, customized meal plans on Sundays and their workout plan as well. It was basically automated, but it's so stressful when you're
It
working
took
with.
you to be there. Okay. So
Yeah,
what
it's
time
so.
do you wake up in the morning? Do you wake up extra early?
Yes. The most successful people wake up early, right? The early bird
Right.
gets the worm. So
Right.
absolutely. I wake up early. I try to meditate and do my daily devotion. And if I have to do cardio in the morning, I'll get up and do my cardio in the morning and prepare for my day.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Webster?
I had my hand up and then I put it down, but I'll go ahead and speak. So, Keisha, I'm sorry I came in after your presentation, but I'm really curious to just know about, how you were able to break through what I would perceive as a barrier in living far, far away from where you're actually investing, and how you were able to leverage people, systems, etc., to make it happen.
Yeah, so I touched on that earlier. It's all about building that relationship, that rapport, building a team. I had touched on that earlier, using someone else's experience as leverage, using their strengths, because I do have weaknesses, right? I'm far from perfect. And so that's how we're able to create a team. And I started doing that back in 2011 when I invested in residential. I created a team. I started off with my family. So my mother, my father, my sisters, my brother, they all started with me from the beginning. So I built a team. And so now fast forward to where I'm at today, your network is your net worth. So I'm on a lot of networking calls. And so that's how those teams are being built and those partnerships are being built. It's just proximity is power. As I mentioned earlier, I was on the phone yesterday with Trevor, who was on this call. He had reached out to me and networked. So now I know that if I need someone boots on the ground in his state, I can reach out to him and say, hey, I have a deal. Do you mind, going and check it out for due diligence? But you have to build those relationships early so that when you do have a deal, you know who to reach out to instead of scrambling at the last minute. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, that does. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Talsha?
Hello, everybody. Hi, Keisha.
Hi, Tasha. How are you?
I am doing very well. Thank you again, just like everyone else, same sentiment, for taking time out to speak with us. I have a question about, so how does under and over commitment impact deals when you're raising for, how does over and under commitment when you're raising funds for the syndication deals impact the deals, whether it's over committed or under committed?
Yes. So our first deal in Waco, we were considered oversubscribed. So what does that mean? It means that we had more commitments than we needed to raise the capital for. So our capital raise was 1.5 million. However, yes, we were oversubscribed, but to be honest, some people that committed, they didn't meet the accreditation. So guess what? By being oversubscribed, we were able to go to the people that couldn't be accredited and have them, become limited partners. So for example, if we needed 20 limited partners, right? And we end up getting 25. If one of the 20 couldn't meet the accreditation, we would go to our waiting list and ask them, are they still interested in investing? So it's pretty good. It's always good to be oversubscribed, right? You want people that are more, you want people that aren't, sorry, how can I put this? you want people that want to invest in your asset. However, you always want to have a backup plan, right? You want to have a safety net. And so that's what it means to be oversubscribed, is having more people, having more limited partners.
Okay, hold on.
On now.
Keep going. The person muted. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Yes, having more limited partners than what's needed. So yeah, being oversubscribed is a good thing.
And the inverse, the under subscription, how do you mitigate with a deal in that situation, or what happens? What are the options?
Yes, so we end up going back to the seller and ask for an extension and negotiate with the seller so that we can get more capital when we are undersubscribed. But I haven't ran into that problem yet. And hopefully we will never run into that problem. And that's why you have to build a database in advance of investors. And so that's why we have our email campaign and our investor portal to keep people in the loop on what current opportunities that we have, so we can mitigate that prior to, scrambling at the last minute before our closing date.
And one last question. My experience with investments is a bit heavier on the angel and VC side, even though I've done some real estate investment as well. When I invest, I have committed in 2022 that I want to do at least 2, but preferably 3 syndication deals. And but I have more experience, like I said, with the angel and VC, or the requirements for validating that you're an accredited investor tend to be different, I think. Like some deals, it's a self-attestation, but in other deals, they may want a letter from the CPA. What does that look like with the syndication deals you have? What types of proof is required for that?
Yes, so we do accept letterheads from your CPA. And then we also use a third party as well that will vet to see if you meet that accreditation. So that's a very good question. And for those that are listening, you might wonder what she's referring to as an accredited investor. So accredited investor is an individual that makes $200,000, or if you are married, $300,000 within the previous 2 years. Or if you do not meet that, then you have a net worth of $1 million. And it cannot include your primary home. And then there's also another way that you can go around it if you have a professional services. But again, I'm not an SEC attorney, so you have to read up on that on 506C, which is for accreditation. So that's what Tasha is referring to, is being an accredited investor. Good question, Tasha.
Good.
Thank you.
Good one. I like it. You covered that about an accredited investor. Michaela, you're next.
Hi, I have not a quick question, but sorry. What can you explain? I have a couple questions. Can you explain what you were saying, that a limited liability partner and a general partnership, the difference between that and what it is?
Absolutely. So a general partner is someone that plays an active role in the deal, whereas a limited partner is investing their capital and they're passively investing. So they don't do the.
So what would be the goal for each of them?
Yes.
Like,
so a lot of
the
people,
limited partner is playing an active role. What does that specifically mean, active role?
Yes. So a limited partner is someone that wants to invest their capital in a deal, but doesn't want to be actively. So they don't want to manage the asset, but they want to receive the benefits of the asset. Because of that, we have general partners. So the general partner is the one that's an active role player in the deal. So they are finding the deals, underwriting the deals, doing the boots on the ground, the due diligence, and they are asset management. So they are managing the property manager and reporting back to the limited partners on what's going on in the deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sorry, my phone had cut off when you were speaking, but I did get the end of that. So do you guys decide? Okay,
Want me to
sorry.
repeat it?
I didn't know. I mean, I got a little bit, but I just wanted to know, do you guys decide on, do you do like 60-50? I mean, 60-40? Like, what do you put up like when you're going after that type of title? Or does somebody put up more, invest more, or how does that work?
Yeah, so the limited partner, for example, we were raising capital for our last deal for 56 units. It was a $1.5 million raise. So the limited partners and the general partners, we also invest in our own deals. So let's just say we put in, I don't know, 500,000. So then the 1 million would come from the limited partners, right? And you would just invest in on that deal.
Oh, okay. 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 And my other question was, how do you transition from residential to commercial?
Yes.
So like, is there like different things that you had to know, or like loans or stuff like that?
Yes, so residential and commercial is two different types of asset classes. And so I started in residential and I switched over to commercial, but I did surround myself by like-minded people and networks. And I also have a mentor, which is showing me the way. You know, I didn't want to be self-taught like I was in commercial at all. I didn't want to, you know, go through that again because it's a different asset class and it's a higher scale. So I had to educate myself. So it all starts with education. I was reading books. I was listening to podcasts. I was really studying this new asset class compared to residential, where I just started investing. But you have to educate yourself to set yourself up for success.
Okay.
Lose her? Okay.
No, we didn't lose her. I just it was too much background noise, so I just muted her.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's see.
Cinto?
Yeah, Cinto.
Hi, Keisha. How are you?
Hi, Cinto. Again, see, I spoke to him earlier. He reached out to me.
It's an amazing story. I'll put my questions in the chat so it's beneficial for everyone to see and just easier for you to answer. One moment. It's a 3-part question, but it's the same thing. It deals with Kuwait. One second. Okay, there you go.
A financial strategic advantage does being in Kuwait offer? Yes, that's a good question. So I am a military contractor. I'm a logistics analyst, and I've been doing this job for a long time. So the benefit of me living in Kuwait is that it's tax-free. So as long as I'm in Kuwait 330 days out of the year, I receive tax benefits. And I don't have to pay Uncle Sam, right? Also, I have accommodation. So I have a vehicle. I have the apartment that I'm sitting in. I don't have to pay for lights. I don't have to pay for water. I don't have to pay for my apartment. And I'm also getting per diem per day. So I'm using that money to invest in assets. So that is the benefit of being in Kuwait. Kuwait is a beautiful country. Do not let the news fool you. I have a couple of people on the call that have lived in Kuwait, both as a contractor and deployed. I see you guys. And so Kuwait is safe. I had my parents visit and they don't even have an alarm system company here. So that tells you that this is a safe country. You know, there's no clubs, there's no alcohol. It's overall pretty safe. So I'm safer here than I am in the States, to be honest. So I don't mind living in another country and being around another culture. There are a lot of restaurants that are in the States that are here. So yeah, I love being in Kuwait. So I hope I answered your first question.
Mm-hmm. Yes, beautiful.
Okay. It's a choice. Yeah, you were asking, is a choice? Yeah, it's a choice for being here. My job allows me to also work on my real estate and, you know, go to the gym during the day as well. So it's definitely a choice. It's not required, right? I'm not in the military. I'm just a military contractor and I can leave at any time. So my goal is to leave by December 2022 or by December 2023. I would love to be home by the time I am 40 years old, but I'm going to continue to build castles in the sandbox because this is a true sandbox, right? I'm out here riding a camel.
Love that.
If you didn't have to be in Kuwait, where would you be residing? Good question. So I love to travel. And one of my goals, I forgot to mention this earlier, is to travel around the world for 1 year straight. So I don't have to worry about rushing, coming back to wherever I am in the world, right? So that's one of my goals. But where would I be residing? It would probably be Florida. My parents were born and raised in Tampa, Florida, and that's one state
That's right.
Yes, that is one state that I've never actually got to live in. We've always visited, but I would love to live there. You know, there's no state taxes and vehicle taxes. So I would love to live in the Sunshine State and, you know, be out on the beach, parasailing and scuba diving. So I hope I answered your question.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. We're doing stuff down there. If you remember our third partner, Abraham, he's down there. We're doing stuff with the VA, like the Veterans Administration. So definitely on that. I do want to sneak in one last question. That's all I have. But I think everyone would be very curious, and I think it's a main theme, and that is, you started all this in April of this year, like the commercial side. Like, to be honest, how are you funding or scaling so many deals so quickly in just a year? That's my last question. Like, how?
Yeah, that's a
like
good
on the
question.
keto diet for real estate investors. Like, you're just, you know.
You're funny. Yeah, it's just, you know, partnering up. That's the only way that I would be in the situation that I'm in right now, is partnering up with like-minded people and creating a team, and offering, you know, just like you got on the phone call with me earlier saying, hey, Keisha, what can I do for you? That's how it all started. That's how you build a team. That's how you create a partnership. And so again, I have 50% network calls, 50% investor calls. So I'm constantly on the call, networking with other people. And I'm constantly on social media. I try to make a post one time out of the day, Monday through Friday. And that's how I'm also generating a lot of my investors and piquing people's interest. And they're, you know, inboxing me. I piqued your interest, right? You inbox me. So, hey, social media does work. For those that probably just missed probably half of the conversation. Yes, he reached out to me, Cinto reached out to me, and him and his partners joined me on a call, a networking call. And that's how it all starts, right? So I know if I want to invest in Florida, I can reach out to him and his partners and that they can help me out. So it's all about network is your net worth. Just building those relationships and partnering up on deals.
I love it.
Thank you.
Lay, are you up next, sir?
All right, thanks. And hey, Keisha, I just wanted to ask, what was one of the biggest mistakes you made or hurdles you faced in this last deal you were a part of, or that you were a GP on? And how did it affect the deal?
Yes, one of my biggest hurdles, I would say, is I started building up my database, my investor database, right? But I should have started back in April when I first decided to get a commercial. However, I didn't. I started building up my database like in August or September. And so I was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to go ahead and be a GP. And man, some of the struggles and the challenges that I face is that, one, everyone's not going to invest in your deal, right? You have to take it with a grain of salt. Still build those relationships with investors. And guess what? At the end of the day, when they're ready to invest in your deal, they will come back to you. You'll be on their mind, right? So that was lesson number one. Hey, everybody's not going to invest in my deal. 2, start your database early. And 3, just realize that if you think that you could raise $1 or $2 million on your first deal, guess what? It's not going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen. That 1 million will probably become 500,000. So you just have to be real with yourself and just trust the process and continue to build those relationships. I've built those relationships. As you can see, some of the people that are on the call with me right now on this call is because I've started building those relationships just with Cinto just today. And he's already on a call, you know, listening to my story. So yeah, just trusting the process, build those relationships, be real with yourself and realize that, hey, you're not going to get everyone to invest in on your deal, and just continue to move forward. We are going to face adversity, and it was my first GP deal. And so now in the second deal, I realized, you know, the lessons that I learned from the first deal, and I am kicking butt on the second deal right now.
That's really, really awesome to hear. So if I understand it right, it kind of sounds like you wish you kind of dug that well before you needed it, right? Just had that that list of people. Well, let me just tack on one more thing. What are you using to manage that? Are you using a certain CRM, or are you just using a big old spreadsheet?
Yeah. So when I speak to every investor, I take notes. And then I also use Active Campaign, which is a good drip campaign where I can, you know, educate them and send out newsletters and let them know about my deals. And then I also have an investor portal where they can sign up and see the current deals that I have. But yeah, I'm always inviting investors to book a call with me, and so I can get to know everyone, because I don't want to have an investor that I do not know. You know, I want to build that relationship. That's what it's all about. Business, and this business is building a relationship. So yeah, that's what I'm using. I love spreadsheets, because you had mentioned that earlier, and that's what I take notes on. However, there's a good CRM and Active Campaign that you can use as well. But I always like to take notes so I get to know the investor.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much, Keisha. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. I hope I answered your question.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's good to go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I'll probably say we have like maybe 1 or 2 questions left, because I don't want to. I'm really want to hold her time up. So my man, I just saw him earlier. He must have went mic. So if you got any more questions for Keisha, please raise your hand or just ask a question right now.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah. Close mouth and get fed.
What social media do you use?
Someone had came on the mic. What did you say?
That was Michaela.
What social media do you use?
Oh, what social media? I'm everywhere, and I can put my information in the chat box as soon as I'm done talking. But I use mainly LinkedIn. I wasn't using that in the past, you know, just being on social media prior to the commercial space. But I really love that platform because you get quality leads. You meet a lot of people. I met someone on this call. I'm not going to call that person out, but she knows who I am. I met her through LinkedIn, and we have a good relationship now. But yeah, I enjoy using LinkedIn. And then I'm also on Facebook. But again, LinkedIn is my #1 because of quality leads that I get from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, did you hook up with Tiffany Ward? Just want to ask you that question. Remember,
excuse me?
Did you guys did you ever hook up with Tiffany Ward? She was in Richmond as well. Remember I connected you guys together?
I do. To be honest, I don't believe so. But I'm not sure.
Okay. We'll talk offline about it.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Aaron. Hey, did I pronounce your name right? Hi, Keisha. I actually booked a meeting with you, I think sometime next week. I think pretty much a lot of questions have answered already. Good questions. Well, after I'm just gonna, since it's the time of the year, since you've been working hard since April, what are you giving yourself this Christmas?
Oh, I already got my Christmas gift. We closed last Monday. That was my Christmas gift. Thank you. Good question. But no, I'm going to be, my Christmas gift, honestly, is just, I just want to rest and relax because I've been going so hard this year in the commercial space. So I just want to relax and rest. And I'm going to spend that day with my sister. But yeah, I got my Christmas gift last Monday.
Thank you.
Yes. So I dropped my website. The first link is the guide, and it is the beginner's guide to being a limited partner in a syndication. So in that guide, it's short. It's the benefits of being a limited partner. What is a limited partner? It also goes over a sample deal because, as I mentioned earlier, commercial real estate, it's like a foreign language. It has a lot of acronyms. So that's a good starting point if you're interested in investing passively as an investor. And then the second one is my LinkedIn and Facebook contact. And also the third link is the link to book a call with me. I would love to speak to each and every one of you on the call. That's the part that I enjoy doing, is speaking to people about financial literacy. That's my reason why. So don't be shy. I know a lot of people are probably shy to come on camera and to ask questions, but feel free to book a call. Would love to get to know you. And hopefully we can build a relationship that turns into a partnership if you're looking to invest passively. And then also let me drop my link to the investor portal. If you are wondering what deal I was referring to earlier, it is a 506B, which is a non-accredited deal. So I'm going to drop that right here. You can just go on there and register. So that is the last link at the bottom. So are there any other alibis out there? Any other questions?
Oh, I have one, if that's okay.
Go ahead, Cinto.
So I know you're getting into, deals as either an LP or GP, but because you're in Kuwait, are you, or maybe you're using a stateside vehicle, what type of entity or entities are you using to invest in these deals? Are you using limited partnerships, the actual vehicle, the entity vehicle, or are you using LLCs, C Corps, or some sort of Kuwait limited partnership?
Yes, good question. First of all, I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not a CPA. Let me put that out there. What might work for me might not work for you. And I say the same thing with bodybuilding. I might be eating 130 grams of protein. So I don't even like answering that question when people are like, so what is your macros? I don't even like answering because, like I said, what might work for me might not work for you. However, to answer your question, I am investing from my LLC. And so you can invest from your LLC, you can invest from your 401k and your IRA. So in case you don't have the capital, there are other ways to invest in on a deal as a limited partner. So I hope I answered your question.
As always, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you to all of my fellow investors that's on this call. I won't shout you out. I won't call you out. And thank you for my family and my friends as well. You know who you are. And thank you to Aaron for having me, and happy holidays. I truly did appreciate this time, even though it is 3 a.m. But guess what? I'm going to the gym after this since I'm already up and knocking out that Christmas Eve workout. And I hope you knock out your Christmas Eve workout before you eat that turkey or whatever your plans are, and just enjoy this holiday with your family and your friends. Rest and relax and be grateful, because we are going into a new year. And it's been a stressful year for all of us with COVID. So just be safe, and thank you for having me. I truly enjoyed this time. Again, feel free to book a call with me. Would love to get on a call with you guys, and you can download the guide and visit my website and find me on social media. Would love to chat.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to end the meetup. That doesn't mean that we're going to end this Zoom call, but I want to say thank you so much, Keisha, for just impacting the attendees. Thank you for the attendees that came on here. I'm just really grateful. Happy holidays, everybody. God bless you.
Yes.